Hello, everyone. And so I think I'm going to wrap up the creative session today. I will talk about creative, but under another scope, which is the retargeting one. I've picked this title because this is how I like to describe retargeting creative in general. Every time you're using creative for retargeting, it's another chance for you to introduce yourself, reintroduce yourself toward your users, and as well to continue the discussion. Before jumping to topic, a few words about myself. So before joining Addictive, I spent, let's say, all my professional life in gaming. I started in wargaming, where I had the chance to see World of Tanks, a main title, coming to mobile and console. Then I've joined JewelCat and Hyper Casual mobile gaming company, where I was in charge of creatives, but as well of managing UA campaign. So just like all of you, I was chatting with all the network on a daily basis. And finally, right now, I'm in Addictive, where retargeting is my main topic. Few words about Addictive, if you don't know. So Addictive is an app retargeting company with more than 10 years experience. Recently, we've launched UACTV. We have more than 100 colleagues all around the world. The HQ is in Paris, but we have some colleagues in San Francisco and New York. And from last November, we have new colleagues here in Seoul. So I'm really glad to meet you all today. Otherwise, last year, it was one of our record years. We have generated more than 200 million in-app purchase for our clients, which we are very proud. And as you can see here, most of our clients are gaming companies, but we are tackling all kind of vertical. And today, it's from those different experiences that I want to share you some pieces. So why does retargeting develop its own creative strategy? Quick hands up, how many of you are running retargeting right now? Okay, so a few. For all the others, so I hope it will be really insightful today. So why you start your doing retargeting, I guess your first reflex will be, as you have seen earlier, to reuse your best UA hero creatives. It's working, it's made the proof, you have tested it, so why not reuse it, right? So from own experience, we have seen that if you are really tailoring your messaging toward retargeting and not only from what you have used before for UA, we have better performances. And how do we do that? This is what I'm going to show you today. Quick agenda, I'm going to go for a quick intro about UA and retargeting, and then how do you build your strategy, your audiences, how will you reflect in your creative strategy, and have a small break about creative type, the specificities, and of course, as we're talking about creatives, some use cases. So to jump in, main difference between UA and retargeting. Everything starts from campaign goals. So when you're doing UA, what are you looking for? Installs, new users, right? In retargeting, it's about re-engagement. This can be totally different goals. It can be someone who's coming back to play more. It can be someone who's coming back to make a purchase. You have different goals. About targeting. In UA, what you're targeting is geos. It can be a country, it can be a region, it can be some tiering. In retargeting, you're targeting your audiences. It's people who know your app and that you know already. And of course, this reflects in creatives. So in UA, you want something attractive, compelling. You want to have this sparkling of wow effects on curiosity. On the other side, for retargeting is just to reignite some interest. It's for an audience who already know you. So why do they like your game? Why should they come back? So from there, how do we build our strategy and audience? First of all, you have to decide on which KPI you want to improve, right? Is it ROAS? Is it LTV? Is it your ad revenue? Anything else? It can be various. This is really up to you, up to how your app is monetizing. From that one, how do you build your audience, right? Is it about the user behavior? One was last logged. The user profile, paying users, non-paying users. Revenue base, is it someone who's about to churn that you want to target or not, for example? Or user funnel. This is quite wide. This is depending on how your app is build, basically. It can be someone who has reached level 15 in your game, someone who has unlocked a special weapon. If you're doing e-com, it can be someone who put an article in the cart but left and never come back. So a lot of options. There's no best one. We have also some case where clients started with one, switched to another, or started with one and then open another one to have another coverage. And to do that, what do you need? So quite obvious, you need your user or player ID, some in-app logs, depending on what you want to target, how you want to segment. Internal BI tool, you may have some KPI that you're using to measure your in-house performance. And data stream, this is something that you can share with some partners like us, and we can help you to build your audience depending on your different criteria. When you have decided on what you want to improve and how you want to improve it, then of course, this will have an impact of your creative strategy. Here is just some examples of what can be done when you have picked your audiences, your KPI, then of course is you want to trigger an action from your users, and what kind of messaging can you have. So we can take an example of paying users. So you want to improve the ROAS. So logically what you want to trigger is some additional purchase. So the new messaging that you can convey to them is to display some new available premium paid content. Another example can be the recent lapse users. So what you want from them is to increase your daily active users metrics. So the action that you want to have is, of course, to open your app. How can we do that? You can showcase them some daily bonuses, some daily offers to spark some curiosity so they come back by themselves, basically. Some do and don'ts. So as I said, let's take some common mistake when you're starting retargeting. First of all, is to reuse your best UA assets. I know you put a lot of effort into them, but they are shooting UA and not retargeting. Use the same creative for all retargeting campaigns. In each campaign, you have different audience, different goals, so you cannot display the same messaging to everyone. A few best practices for you. So personalize your messaging, use some app-related content. What do I put below that is like when you have a hero, name it, use the name. If you have a special name for your in-game currency, use it as well. It will make it more personalized towards the users. Highlight new features, content. Of course, new is always attractive. In the same trend, don't hesitate to leverage your in-game or the calendar events. Showcase some incentive or time-limited offer. In one case, it's always nice to receive a gift, right? On the other side, you can trigger some FOMO toward your user to come back. And the last one, it's about using all the creative type. This one is going to be the next session, so I will continue with that. I wanted to have a quick pause about creative type because you're all running UA campaign. So what you do most of the time and what you use the most is video and playables, right? And we just had an example previously, and the combination was very well for UA. But there's something else to take into account when you're doing retargeting is statics. I know that in UA, you have it, if you're, let's say, doing all the network, like AppLovin, Iron Source, etc., it's either the small banner or the end card which are statics. But in retargeting, you have other ad placements which allow you to optimize these formats. Just to give you some numbers, so the share spend between the formats, you can see that the statics are taking more than 1/4 of it. So it's worth to invest into this format. And then, just for info for you, so the share of clients who are using those creative type, actually everyone is using static and video, and playables only 20%. So what do I want to highlight there is like playables is a new format that is worth to invest in because it's a differentiator for you. It's something which is going to make you stand up against your competitors, basically. And I just wanted to show you some creative A/B testing. I cannot disclose the client data, so it's as for casual game app, only static formats. You have CTR on the left, Retribution D7 on the right. The blue is the regular generic concept, and the red one is a tailor messaging creatives. What is noticeable here? So from the start, you can see that the retargeting concept is already above in both metrics from the beginning. And then after 3 days, you can see that the difference is quite significant. The 3 days just represent the learning phase of our testing. But after that, you can see that it's quite stable. And this is how we can judge about the performance, and it's just about static format there. So I've talked about creatives, strategy, etc. a lot, but I think that what is interesting for you as well to see what does that represent, right? From now on, so in this case, we're going to talk about user behavior audience, so some audience which is separated in 3 types. The first one is recent lapse. In recent lapse, you have users which are, let's say, not logging into your app within the first week. In the mid lapse is between the first week and 1 month, and long lapse can be considered after 1 month. In the first case, what you want to do is to bring them back as quick as possible, right? So in the first creative, what we wanted to do is to highlight one of the in-game LTV features, which is a daily reward. Basically, come back, don't miss it, it's today only. And the second one, what we wanted to do is, so it's someone who left the game for almost a week, right? But you want this person to come back. So we're displaying a time-limited content. This is a monthly event, so don't miss it. If it's too late, you don't have the chance to catch up. For the long lapse, it's another story. It's someone who will have left your game for at least a month. So what can we use there? So what we have used, I put advanced mechanic, but it can be also a new mechanic, meaning that it's a mechanic that this user haven't seen yet or haven't reached yet, so it's new for him, and he would be willing to come back to give it a try if he's interested. And then we can have the segmentation by profile, so paying users, non-paying users. In the first case, so paying users are really the users that have really engaged in your games, they made the first purchase, so it's not a blocker for them to continue that way. So what do we want to display to them is something new, something catchy, some new premium content, for example. On the other side, non-paying users have to make the first step, to make the first purchase. So how can we help them to do that? So we can tailor some exclusive deals that, of course, reflect into your app afterwards, just for them, and can be time limited as well, so to try to push them to make this first purchase. So as I mentioned earlier, Playable is really a format which is really, right now, can differentiate yourself from your competitor, so it's really worth to invest in it. That's why I want to give you some example. So for gaming apps, here you have an example of Domino Dreams. Basically, as you can guess from the name, it's a game about domino, which is a board puzzle game type. But what we have done here is to reuse the game asset to create a memory game. Why did we do that? Because we're doing retargeting. The users already know your game, so it's not about doing a tutorial, for example. They know how to play. But what we want is to continue the conversation with them, proposing something new to them, a new experience. So this is one of the ways. Another example is to reuse your in-game characters. Your in-game characters, your hero, are always attractive. They are part of your branding. They are known, and the users like it. So here we use it to create this mini game where you can win another reward. So I know I've talked about gaming a lot, but I wanted to showcase you then some example for non-gaming apps and how we can use Payable for them. Payback, it's an app for cashback, basically. So how do we make it playable for them? So a little bit of storytelling at the beginning, and we wanted to make a small interaction at the end with an incentive. So basically, after a small story phase, you have to scratch to discover your promo code. And LalaLab is an app which you can print your picture. So we are talking to an audience who like photography. So here we have replicate the focus action, when you're taking a picture, and then displaying all the different products that they can purchase. So to wrap up my presentation, one audience, one message. Each audience have a different way to be communicating with you in your everyday life. You're not talking the same way to your friends, to your colleagues, to your family. It is the same here. Your best UA assets are not your best retargeting assets. I hope that I've convinced you today to invest a bit more into retargeting assets and creatives. And all creative types are important. Don't miss your chance. In retargeting, each creative type are linked to a different inventory. So if you want to be sure to reach your audience, maximize your chance. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions or want to keep in touch, feel free. And of course, if you have not some other question that you would like to ask live or just have a casual chat, let's meet later. Thank you.